everybody, my name is Mars. You can call me MG if you would like, and today I have for you the stay-at-home book tag. I was just searching for tags to do because I love doing them, but I feel like I haven't done them in quite a while, and this one popped out at me. I thought the questions were really fun. It has 8 of them plus a bonus, and they are all themed after things that you do when you're just chilling at home, and I thought it was really fun answering all of these questions, so I'm here to do it for you. I will leave a link in the description to the original creator of the tag, so definitely go check that out. But without further ado, let's just talk about these books. So the first question is Laying in Bed, a book that you could or have read in a day, and I have a couple of go-to short book series where when I want something fast, I just go for one of those. But the one that I reach for the most is the one that takes the least brain power, and that's not a bad thing. I love these books, but it is the Ice Planet Barbarian series by Ruby Dixon. This is book 2, Barbarian Alien. It is my favorite in the series thus far. I've read 6 of them and a few of the short stories, and they're just so silly and fun and kind of swoony at times. Not all of the couples are my favorite, but some of them are. The one in this book specifically, my favorite dynamic. Love them so much. But yeah, these books are so easy to get through. I could blast through one in just a couple of hours, and so definitely my go-to if I want to read a book in a day. Next up is Snacking, a guilty pleasure book. And so I have 2 guilty pleasures when it comes to reading. The first is starting series and never continuing them. I plan on fixing this habit of mine in 2026, but we're not there yet. I also have a habit of pulling a million books out of little free libraries. I'm trying to do better at putting my own books into them, which I definitely do, but not as often as I take books out of them. But I figured I would combine those 2 guilty pleasures and show you a stack of first books in series that I got out of little free libraries that I have yet to read. So we've got a bunch here. This isn't even all of them, but in the stack we have The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, Shady Hollow by Juno Black, The Inheritance Schemes by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, and Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. My little free libraries are always so good to me. These are all in pristine condition, and they're all such popular books that I've heard great things about, and I can't wait to read these, but it's a very heavy stack. Let me put it down. The next prompt is Netflix, and that is a series you want to start, and I could go with any of the ones that I just showed you because I do really want to start them, but I have a different one in mind for this question because this is a series that I did not get out of Little Free Library. I paid my own money for this. Granted, it was at a library book sale rather, and so I didn't pay a ton of money, but I did buy the entire series. It's only a duology, but I bought the entire series at once, and I would like to binge it. And that series is Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glenn Marsh, and then the sequel, Song of the Dead. These are beautiful, and I have been told by a trusted friend whose reading taste I definitely trust, we have quite similar reading taste, that this series has similar vibes to my favorite book of all time, The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones, so obviously I want to get to it. I did buy these quite a while ago, it's been sitting on my shelves for a little bit, and I still haven't gotten to it despite the fact that I really, 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 really want to read it, so I have to get on that. Then we have Deep Clean, a book that's been on your TBR for ages, and I did have an answer to this a couple of months ago. I had, what is it called, Inferno by Dan Brown on my TBR for almost a decade. It was just sitting there, unread, and I finally read it, and I did not like it, and so I got rid of it. I did vlog the experience if you want a little bit more in-depth of my thoughts on it, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But besides that book, I'm actually quite good at reading books in a timely manner. I feel like things don't linger on my shelf for too long, and so there are only 5 books currently on my physical TBR that I have owned for over a year at this point. Everything else on my TBR cart has come into my life in 2025. So the only books that I have that I got before the start of this year are these ones. So we have Love's Labour's Lost by Shakespeare, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, The Mysterious Stranger and Other Stories by Mark Twain, Rebel Angels by Libba Bray, and The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackworth. Quite the varied stack here. We've got some classics, we've got a play, some short stories, we've got the first book in a series, we've got the second book in a series, which I'm actually, at the time of filming this, currently reading A Great and Terrible Beauty, so Rebel Angels is hopefully coming up soon, because, as previously mentioned, I'm terrible at continuing series, and I would like to get better at that, so I don't want Rebel Angels to linger on the TBR for too long. Then we have Animal Crossing, a book you bought recently because of the hype. And I bought this because of the hype in two different ways. So, a thriller horror bookstore recently opened up in Philadelphia, and I wanted to check it out as someone who is not so much a fan of thrillers, but is very much a fan of horror books. And so it was kind of like the hype of this store opening up, making me want to spend a little bit too much money there. Definitely did not do my wallet any favors, but it's fine. I was supporting a small business. But I also bought it because of the hype around the book itself. It is a classic in the horror genre. It is super well known, both because of the book itself and the movie adaptation. And that book is The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. This cover is terrifying on its own, like it's just so unsettling, but this is also a special edition where it's glow in the dark. And it's so creepy, you guys. It's genuinely terrifying. I've heard that this is one of the scariest books of all time, and I cannot wait to read it, but at the same time, oh my god, I'm so scared to read this book. But I have it, so I will be reading it at some point. It also has, like, the sprayed edges. The sprayed edges aren't glow in the dark, just the cover is. But, like, yeah. This is a very intimidating book, and it's so bright and vibrant that I cannot ignore it when it's on my TBR cart. So, yeah. Stay tuned for a vlog when I read this, because I feel like that would be a very fun vlog for me to scare the heck out of myself, but yeah, definitely bought this because of the hype. Next up, we have Productivity, a book you learned from or a book that had a strong impact on you. And I'm going to go with This Is Not a Test by Courtney Summers. I do not, unfortunately, have a copy. I will, though, because a new edition of it is actually coming out in January, and it's got the original text but like slightly edited. I think she said there were like 6 or 7 scenes that she tweaked because this book came out like 14 years ago or something. Like, it is quite old at this point. But then it also has a novella in the back that previously has only been published as an ebook, and I'm so excited to finally read that. I've been trying to get my hands on it since I read This Is Not a Test back in January, and genuinely not a day goes by that I don't think about this book. Like, that's how much of an impact it has had on me. I just absolutely adore it, and I cannot wait to have a physical copy so I can reread it and then finally read the novella. Then we have FaceTime, a book that you were gifted, and I am lucky to have people in my life who gift me books quite often. So the one that I have gone for in this instance is the Christmas gift that my twin sister gave to me last year because it was just such a generous gift. She gave me this book and also some annotation materials, even though I did not use them because I don't really annotate on first reads. I don't really annotate in general, but I would like to get into that more. That's neither here nor there, though. But she gave me some annotation materials and a bookmark that match the book itself. And the book that she gave me was A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon, and I loved this book. It was so good. I genuinely liked this just a little bit more than The Prior of the Orange Tree, and I love The Prior of the Orange Tree. It's such an amazing book. This one, though, just had a little bit more to it, for my tastes anyway, and it was so good, and I definitely look forward to rereading it at some point. Probably not anytime soon, but at some point. And using those annotation materials my sister gave me, I still also have to read Among the Burning Flowers. But that's not the question here. The question was a book that I was gifted, and this is what I was gifted by my lovely sister, so thank you. And the last official prompt is self-care, and that is one thing that you have done recently to look after yourself. And this isn't exactly like one thing that I've done, it's more of an idea that I'm coming to learn and to realize, and that is the fact that a TBR is not a like hard and definite thing that must happen. It is more of like a guideline and some options. So I do set quite hefty TBRs for myself, both in a monthly sense and in just a general sense of like these are the books that I would like to read in a certain amount of time. And I used to be quite hard on myself if I didn't get to them. Like I would try and cram the books in as much as possible, and it just doesn't have to be that way. Like, I don't have to read books just because I put them on my TBR. There genuinely are no consequences except to my like reading experience. Like, say I put 10 books on a monthly TBR and I only have time to read 7 of them. Like, that's still amazing. I'm still reading those 7 books and hopefully loving them. But if I were to try and rush through them to get through all 10, then that would just impede my reading experience and I would enjoy them even less, and it just wouldn't make sense. Like I'm learning that that is definitely better than having a no, it is better to have an incomplete TBR than to rush through them. That's what I'm trying to say. And it is something that I've been very slow to learn, but I think it is an important lesson. It kind of just applies to a wider range of things. Like if I have a daily to-do list, like yeah, it'd be cool if I could get to everything that I wanted to get done that day. But if I don't, it's not like a moral failing or anything. So definitely learning a little bit less toxic productivity in that way. And the bonus question is just to name a book that is coming out soon. And a new release that I am so looking forward to is Twin Tides by Hien Win, I believe is how it's pronounced. I actually don't know how to pronounce that name, but I think I got close. And this is a YA speculative horror thriller with twin main characters. I mean, what more could I ask for? YA horror is so amazing. It's probably my favorite part of horror is YA, which is interesting because I don't read a ton of YA otherwise. Like I'm more evenly split between YA and adult and also a little bit of middle grade. But with horror, I tend to skew more towards YA. But I also just love twin main characters, as I've mentioned. I myself am a twin, so I'm quite partial to them. And as of my math, which could be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure that this book will be releasing a week from the day that this video goes up, so you still have time to look into it and decide if you want to get it. So those are all of the questions for this tag. Like I said, I will leave the original video down in the description for you to check out, and I hope you enjoy that one as well. If you've enjoyed this video though, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone.